Hello, good morning and welcome back to Paris Crochet Flow. My name is Paris and I am here with somewhat a different video from what you're used to watching on this channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. Thank you for those who have newly subscribed to my channel. I'm very thankful for your support, and whenever you get a moment, just watch and listen to what I might have to say. Sometimes I do share patterns, sometimes I do share just what I'm making, but for the most part I just talk about what I'm crocheting or knitting, which is something that I have picked newly. I learned how to crochet and knit when I was very young, but I gravitate towards crocheting more, so I crochet way more. So my knitting is very basic, like I always say. I'm very much a beginner when it comes to knitting, and you can tell even from the top that I'm wearing. And I will start with talking about this top because it's, for the most part, it's what I want to talk about for those who want to edge themselves into knitting if you are a crocheter. And I will give just a few patterns that I've tried and I found that they were easy for me at a beginner level, and even if I gave up on finishing them, I turned them into something else that worked out. So let's get right into it. I'm going to share maybe one or two do's if you're a crocheter wanting to start knitting, and maybe one or two don'ts if you're starting to knit. So the first do I would say is start by making simple flat pieces which are just made of knitting or a knit or a purl stitch, because that way you're gonna build confidence. And maybe you can even start by, I would say, by making just a garment made of two flat panels and find a way of joining it and making it fun. That way, once you finish one project, you're likely to have more confidence to either try another project using the same technique, or even do some of the beginner patterns that are available on Etsy, available on Ravelry, and even some free patterns out there on the internet. So I will start with I already said one do. Start flat, maybe just make a dishcloth or a washcloth, and then you can move on to maybe a vest, a simple vest like this, just made of two flat panels. And then you can progress to making the raglan tops, which I'm gonna show you two of them, and I'm gonna tell you how they worked out for me and what I will do next to either get the same to make the same patterns and get the product that is intended rather than giving up halfway. I will share with you in this video. So to proceed as a beginner, as I said, start flat. I would also say start by knit or purl. Don't be very optimistic by starting maybe what do we call them, textured knitting, or decide that you want to start all of a sudden by making an ugly Christmas sweater, because for ugly Christmas sweaters or any color work, it's, I would say, very advanced, and I don't even do color work. I know I will try doing color work and give myself grace, knowing that the first project might be very ugly, but I wouldn't say start color work. You might see very beautiful patterns and say, oh, I want to make an ugly sweater for myself, and you dig into it starting with a pattern of color work or texture, and you might give up and say knitting is not for you. So don't set yourself up for failure. Start by setting up yourself for success by starting with a small project, finish it up, progress to a larger project, finish it up. That way you build confidence and you feel better each time you finish a project. So I'll show you I will show you. I'm looking at my notes because I had written just so I can be organized a little bit, but I'm struggling with that. So I say do not start with color work, and I would start with I will show you three patterns that I have either purchased or just followed on a YouTube tutorial, and I feel that that's a very good beginning place for a crocheter or for just or a beginner knitter. So the first one I made was I believe the Delanie vest, which is the one I'm wearing right now. So the Delanie vest, and I will insert some images here or here. So the Delanie vest is very easy to crochet because one, as you can tell, it's made using a very chunky yarn. You can use yarn number 5 or just follow as the pattern says. At first I didn't have the correct yarn, so I made my first Delanie vest using this white. It's just acrylic, and that's a beauty. When you start, you can just start by using just basic budget yarn, and you still get a nice top. So I know I have shared in another video myself wearing this Delanie vest. This was my first Delanie vest. It turns out so well, and you wouldn't believe it because I made mistakes on the gauge. I'm supposed to use, I believe, size 10 needle. I ended up using size 10, and I used size 9. So I had to do some math to calculate and see how much how many stitches and how many rows I need to add, because I did not swatch. I usually don't swatch because I'm gonna give up. I will swatch, and I just feel like it's, I would suggest if they say swatch, because that's how good knitters work. So don't follow what I say. So I did not swatch. I made this Delanie vest and did my math from using a size 9 to using, instead of using size 10, I used size 9 needle. So I had to increase rows to get to my size. It's a bit small, but it works really nice. It's quite warm. I have worn it several times and I love it because I can wear it with jeans. And so I decided to make the second Delanie vest using the same color of yarn that might be on the image that I'm going to share. And I actually just finished this vest last week. I know I shared my an image of myself finishing up using a crochet the edges, because that's how I bind off. But this is my Delanie vest. I'll stand up so you can see, and it's quite a good size. I just think I need to block it so the seams can lay flat. The other thing is that my seams may not be perfect, just because again I'm a beginner and my stitches are not that tight, so my seams are usually off. Don't feel bad if your seams are not perfect in the beginning, because as I said, you're going to build, the more you knit, the more you build confidence, and the more the skill becomes better. Just don't give up because a seam turned out wrong, or the vest did not, or the sweater did not turn out as you saw on the image. Just keep going, because the more you do it, you will feel better and you build confidence, as I said. Now this is my Delanie vest. It's a paid pattern on Etsy, I believe. The Delanie vest, I'm going to share the details of the designer because I'm sorry I didn't write it down, but I will share any pattern I will talk about. I'll share in the description down below who is the designer of it, if it's paid or not, and if it's a tutorial, and you can go follow that tutorial or purchase the pattern, or just start with a free pattern. The other one is this was the Bluff sweater, the Bluff Pullover. Let me see what I wrote. The Bluff Pullover by Ashley Lillis. I follow her on Instagram, and I just hope I can make a lot of her patterns. I know she does have nice beginner pullovers and sweaters, and also she has some textured, and this is a designer that if you're interested you can check out, and they have very good beginner friendly patterns, and you can progress with them if you like their work. I like their work, and I'm planning to, my next project will be the Easy Chunky V-neck sweater by Ashley Lillis. And I also bought one pattern. I'm going to share that pattern here in an image, and the name in the description down below, and you can also go check it out. So that's another designer, Ashley Lillis. This was a YouTube tutorial I followed, but I'm sorry, I know I'm not doing her justice, because this one ended up being very wide, and I gave up. I did not finish the sleeves, but still I wear it, and that's the beauty of it. I don't usually frog my work, so I gave up finishing the sleeves because they were so wide and I just couldn't envision myself finishing it. So I still wear it, and I believe I'm going to try it again, and the next time I try, of course, I believe it's going to be better. The one beautiful thing I liked about following the tutorial is that I learned how to do the increases for the raglan, and you can tell they're not perfect, but for a beginner I was quite proud of myself just starting to do the increases of the raglan. So you get to learn new stitches like make one right, make one left, yarn over, and all those fancy stitches in knitting that I don't usually do in crochet. So that's one thing. You can learn how to do raglan increases by following Ashley Lillis. She does really good work on her instructional videos, and also if you know somebody else you can follow. This is just my opinion, and I may be biased just because this is the only one thing I have done, but you're not limited to that. If you learn how to do raglan, I believe either way it's a skill you learn. It doesn't matter who you